everyone knows what Postal 2 is. And I bet that you, yes, you motherfucker, watching this knows what Postal 2 is. And I also bet you played Postal 2 before Postal 1. Or if you're like me, you opened up Postal 1, got your ears blasted out, and then quit onto Postal 2 because you didn't know it was F1 to get to the next level. That actually really helps me segue onto the most obvious difference between the original Postal and its sequel is the genre change. Postal 1 being the isometric shooter that I'm not going to go into more detail about so I can get you to watch my Postal 1 video, and Postal 2 got turned into a first-person shooter that is an absolute fan favorite shitpost. To give a quick summary of Postal 2 for the people who somehow don't know about it, Postal 2 is the sequel to Postal, the 1997 isometric shooter, but the sequel completely drops the dark tone of the original for a more goofy/offensive humor type of tone that really builds the game of its own. The game takes place in the town of Paradise, Arizona, and you play as the Postal Dude who must complete a list of tasks in the in-game week plus Saturday and Sunday with Apocalypse Weekend. The most interesting part of the game, to me at least, is that the game is only as violent as you make it. A great example is that you can either wait in the long-ass bank line to cash in your paycheck legitimately, which will lead to the bank getting robbed, or you can rob the bank instead, which will make you the robber. Yeah, the game is still stupidly violent and offensive, but you can quote-unquote tone it down by doing a no-kill run, which... those are so boring, bro. Come on, I just want to go out fucking sicko mode and blast people with the best weapon in the game, or fucking fight Gary Coleman to the fight Dick and Balls mascot, all for a damn doll. Or if you want to be a pacifist, or save ammo, you can avoid that all by just simply waiting in lines and bribing the mascot with the signed Gary Coleman book. By today's standards, Postal 2 is pretty clunky if I'm being honest. The shooting on some weapons feel pretty underwhelming or just make the enemies feel like complete bullet sponges. The controls for the dude himself feel so clunky if you're trying to secret hunt for hidden weapons, or doing the damn napalm mission that requires platforming, which by itself isn't so bad, but in combination with the hard-moving controls, it's kind of a bitch. The AI isn't as bad as Postal 4's current AI, but it's still fucking weird that they literally do not react to sound at all. Everyone says this, so I'm gonna say it too. The game crashes a lot and bugs out quite often. Now, I probably made the game sound like a mess, which it is. Not as big as a mess as Postal 4 currently is. But the saving grace is how fucking insane this game is. Postal 2 has such awful charm and it's great. Running with Scissors made a shitpost game that makes fun of everyone and anyone, filled with weapons and jokes that completely makes everyone around you into crazy fucks, while you're the only barely sane guy who's just trying to get through his week doing shitty chores. I mean, what game lets you piss on people's faces and then fight the Taliban as a one-man army with a weapon that instantly gibbs people in 2 shots? None that I've ever found in a long time. No one is safe from being made fun of by running with scissors in this game, and surprisingly, this game has aged somewhat okay. I mean, like, some of the humor is slightly dated, but the game didn't really set a date for these jokes. I don't know if that's the right term at all. And they'll always feel timeless. For example, the video game protesters will never feel old since dumbass people still think that video games cause violence in people to this fucking day, and Running with Scissors did a great job making the crazy world actually have some decent commentary that can hold up to this day and age. Apocalypse Weekend is the low point of the Postal 2 saga. Game stuff that was built off the Postal 2, you know. It's not as free roam as one would like, but still has a pretty alright story, plus the base charm of Postal 2. If you think about it, Apocalypse Weekend is just a good version of Postal 3 with its limited free roam and linear story structure. Huh. Apocalypse Weekend is a decent DLC, and Paradise Lost really blended the events of it really well into the story of Paradise Lost. There's nothing really to say about Apocalypse Weekend. It's just fine, a little annoying with the limited free roam and annoying head injury hallucinations, but that's really all anyone can say about this DLC. It's not anyone's favorite, as far as I know, and it's not anyone's least favorite. It's just fine as a week in Paradise. Same can't be said about the other DLC mentioned here though. Yeah. Let's talk about Paradise Lost. Paradise Lost was basically a sorry to all the Postal fans for the complete shit show Postal 3 unfortunately was. And Jesus Christ, did Running with Scissors make a game better than Postal 3 and 2 combined. Paradise Lost is the true Postal 3 to many Postal fans, and I completely agree with them, even though I consider Postal 3 still canon. Paradise Lost completely blew Postal 2 and 3 out of the water with a great story filled with great jokes that genuinely make me laugh out loud. It's zany, but the right amount of zany where I'm not rolling my eyes at the weird shit that goes on, and the Postal 2 is such a great straight man the entire game with all the weird shit going on around him. The new weapons, boss fights, power-ups, and set pieces, holy shit does this DLC add so much that just straight up works perfectly together. The game still keeps the great "the game is only as violent as you make it" motto, which seemingly simple missions that have been enhanced with the apocalyptic setting Paradise now has. Paradise has been almost completely transformed into an even more depressing shithole that has so many things going on in it, with the different factions and the different quote-unquote biomes that go from simple reskins to a complete overhaul, and I love it. Boss battles are something introduced in Apocalypse Weekend, but in Paradise Lost they're fleshed out a bit more with Champ's Battle and the Bitches Battle, both having pretty good attack warnings. Paradise Lost comes with the same weapons from the original Postal, plus some extra weapons from a certain mod I'll talk about after this, and some weapons it added in on its own. Dual wielding is basically iconic now in the Postal series, and I wish we could have gotten those vending machines in Postal 4, because I really like them for some dumb fuck reason. The new factions and their leaders are almost all given actual personalities that make it so much more fun when you defeat them if you want the quote-unquote true ending. Paradise Lost is just seriously fucking great with its story, gameplay, humor, characters, literally everything. It also has 3 Postal dudes. What more could I ask for? I seriously did not know where or how to bring these 2 up organically, so I'm just gonna bring them up right here. Eternal Damnation is a pretty freaking good mod that added on now iconic weapons onto the Postal 2 full release, like the amazing sawed-off shotgun, and it has a pretty solid, if not too try-hard edgy story sometimes. That is complete and utter zombie massacring fun that almost killed my computer from all the Gib particles, so that's fun. I'm seriously waiting for its remaster whenever that's coming out. Corkscrew Rules is... I don't even know how to talk about it because I can barely fucking understand it. It's not good in my opinion. Like, the entire story is just so fucking disjointed, and the mission structure is just so bad. This makes me feel like it's a weird bad omen of Postal 3. It's not funny at all to me, like the humor isn't even shitpost funny, it's just confusingly unfunny. Like, as bad as Postal 3 was, some jokes are funny surprisingly enough. I really have no praise for this add-on. Maybe if I was Russian, the humor could save the terrible mission structure. Like, holy shit, they did a mission-to-mission structure, what the fuck. And confusing writing. I mean, I do like its version of the Postal dude. Like, come on, hear me out. These are some extra things that I'd just like to add on since I felt like they needed to be said, even though I couldn't find a place for them organically. The art style is really not the best. It's got an ugly charm to it that I've gotten so used to now that I think Postal 4's weird realism is just ugly compared to Postal 2's weird blocky-ish art style. Rick Hunter. Just Rick Hunter in general. Like, holy shit, this man is iconic and he's definitely the Postal dude among fans. He's just great all around. And I really like the fire and giving physics of this game. They're not as good as very recent games, but they're still really good, and it's so satisfying to slice through people like butter with a machete. And that's really all the random praises I have for this game, aside from that this gave us the best Postal dude design, don't at me. Ah, Postal 2. So iconic, so controversial, so deserving of that fan favorite status. Absolute stupid insanity and a great deviation from your predecessor. I wonder how your sequel is. Whenever someone comments, your Postal 1 isn't scary, you're just a pussy, you're a coward, on the Postal 1 video, I'm always so tempted just to say, I am into the Postal dude. Be scared of what I can say relating to that.